So exciting. Welcome, everybody. They're rolling in, Mary. Here they come.
Look at it.
They're flying in.
I love it.
Are we going to hit 50? That's the question. It's not an ego thing. I just want more people to see these fantastic stories. Season number 4. 16 tellers. 1 grand champion. It's going to walk away. Not with a prize that's valued at $99, because I don't like when people say that. No, it's actually $99. Unless you live in Canada, then I screw you a little bit. But that's always the case. You know, that's just how Americans are with Canadians. Sometimes.
We do the best we can.
Welcome, y'all. It is now 7:01, 7:02. As you come in, get yourselves comfortable. We're going to have you for 90 minutes. And at the end of the 90 minutes, we're going to have a 99-second Grand Slam champion. And we're going to start that. And our first tellers will begin at latest 7:10. You need to use the restroom, or you need to get a drink, or you need to make that call. Do it now so that we have your full attention, so that when you vote, you can actually be voting on stories you hear, because if you don't hear all of them, it's not really fair that you're voting on only hearing some of the stories. Am I right, Mary? Is that fair?
Yeah, be honest, Joe.
Everybody, you all know the lovely Queen Mary Dalba. She's joining me once again as a co-host extraordinaire. And you will stay on mute for now. If you're not muted, I may mute you. I'll ask you to do that for yourselves if you don't mind. And throughout this evening, for the next 90 minutes, if you want to communicate with me or Mary or anybody else, you can use the chat function. And now is a good time to, if you're not familiar with Zoom, just to play around a little bit with where it says view, and you can look on speaker or gallery. You get to change a little bit of what you see. We are live streaming this. So if you don't want your lovely face to be seen by the world, on the top right of your little box there, you'll see a few things you can do. One of them, I believe, is stop your video. And so that means you'll still get to watch everything and hear everything and vote. We just won't see your lovely face. Mm-hmm. And what we'll do is, and I'll go over this a couple of times. We have round 1, and then we'll have a little intermission, and then round 2, and a Grand Slam champion is named and crowned. And then we'll do a little post-slam salon. Can we call it that? Is that what we're calling it?
I think we call it salon. Yes, I like it.
Salon?
I like it. Salon is good. Sophisticated.
It is, right. I'm in North Carolina. Queen Mary, where are you?
Near Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay. And I want to introduce our another judge. So now the audience, you are the judges, but Queen Mary, our lovely co-host, also gets a vote to put someone through to the second round. And this evening, joining us, a former Grand Slam champion, live from Montreal, Canada, Johanne Pelletier. She's flexing her guns. She's the other judge. So if you want to impress someone, don't try to impress me. She's the one, and Mary. Yes. So no doubt. Now, you all know that this is a competitive event, which means that there will be winners and there will be losers. I understand people don't like that term in 2021. We want to use something like non-winners. No, they're losers. But that's not their fault. They just didn't win. That doesn't reflect on their character. They just didn't win. That's all. It's just a word, right?
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? That means 15 people won't win, but 1 will. And many of these tellers, they all qualified. They all deserve their berth here this evening. Mm-hmm. All very talented. And the way this evening is going to go, now I think I'm going to do it, Mary. Here we go. I've got a hat in front of me. Now, if you've been here before, you know that the hat I typically use, there's 1 of 2 hats that are from the great country of Peru, Cusco in particular. This evening, I'm trying something new. And now, why would you fix something that isn't broken? I don't know. I'm going to use a different hat. At times this evening, I might even wear the hat. This was actually from North Carolina. In the hat are the names. And in about 5 minutes, I will pick 4 names. That will be the order of the first 4 tellers. At the end of those 4 tellers, if they've not gone over time, then Mary will do it. Nobody but Mary can do, not at that level. She will give you a summary of each story.
Right.
After that, a poll will be launched, and you will vote on your favorite story. Now, I encourage you to vote for your favorite story and not necessarily your favorite storyteller. We all have favorites. Hey, you know what? I can't control what you do. I'm just encouraging you. And all of these stories should be true and personal and stories. So if someone's playing with the form and they throw out some kick-ass spoken word piece, it might be very entertaining, but I would encourage you again, and that's very rare here. People know how this is done. But please vote for the true, the personal story. And if they go over time, and I hope they don't, then I will let you know that they went over time and they won't be in the poll. And at the end of round one, after all 16 have gone, we will have 4 winners from each of the 4 polls. And then Mary will put one through and Joanne will put one through. And then we will have round 2. And those 6 tellers will tell a second story, which means all of our tellers here this evening have brought 2 new stories. And if you have ever tried to do this kind of storytelling, the 99-second, I can tell you this is really hard. It is challenging to have a story that is compelling and relatable and has a beginning, middle, end, and all the other things we typically want in stories. So I commend them.
Amazing.
Mary, I'm going to take a breath now. I've just been talking a whole lot, haven't I?
That's all right. You do it well.
I get on a roll and I just don't
Go.
stop talking. But I know in a few moments, I will not be talking much at all because it'll be these fantastic storytellers and their stories.
Mm-hmm.
If you in our audience or perhaps a storyteller has a question, would you mind just putting it in the chat? And you can, if you go to the chat, you can put everyone, or you can specifically send something to me or Mary if you have a question or even a concern about something. I see someone wrote that some people are having a tough time getting in. So Mary, can we troubleshoot that perhaps?
I haven't. Did they put on here they're having a tough time getting in? I've been letting people in, my boo.
All right, we've got a couple minutes.
Yeah.
I want to remind everyone again that we are on Facebook Live. At last look, there were 13 million people watching this event. 13 no, I'm kidding. It's 13. 13 people, but we're going to get more, so maybe we'll get 20. Not millions, but one day, that's the reach.
One day.
Support. Right?
I agree. Let's think big.
We're going to think big. We're letting some more people in as they roll in. And Mary, do I need to say anything else? Did I leave something out? You know that I'm always worried about that.
I think this is just for everybody to have fun. That's the biggest thing. We're looking forward to the stories.
Indeed. At 80 seconds, I'm letting you all, the storytellers know this, but I'm telling our audience too. You will see me at 80 seconds do this. This is really for our storytellers to know they've got to wrap it up within 20 seconds or so. That's for them. You'll see me do that. And I will also say, and then Mary, check this out soon. I'm going to stop talking. Before we actually pick the 4 names, actually, we'll pick the 4 names before our first actual storyteller goes.
Right.
We have a guest.
Oh,
that's joined us a few times before. It's becoming a tradition. In a moment or two, I will introduce her. Her name's Purky. Maybe you see her on your screen. And if you've been at other slams, you have seen her. She starts us off. She gets the ball rolling with these 99s. In fact, I think she's even got a 77. We're really playing with the form. You'll let folks in. And in a moment, I will introduce. We're calling her a sacrificial teller, but I don't know if she loves that term. It's said with love.
It is.
Ms. Ann Vandy Purky, are you ready to wow us and get us started off this fine August evening?
Ready.
Whenever you are ready, we are ready to hear you.
Okay. It's 1982 and I'm shot straight out of Northwestern Film School to work on the cult film Repo Man. I'm the 3rd assistant director. We're filming in a godforsaken canal in downtown LA, and it's 100 degrees. There are packs of stray dogs on the edges of the set, panting and growling. Every time I open a trailer door, there are the first and second assistant directors and one of the stuntmen doing shots of mezcal. Join the fun, Anne, the stuntman says. Later, the second assistant director is wrangling extras, bombed out of his mind, and he keeps hugging them. I think, so this is my career in film? One day I know I can't take it anymore. We wrap and I slink over to the craft service table, grab a bag of Cheetos and throw some of the pack to the pack of dogs to get into my car. That night, I'm on a plane to Chicago. Chicago, where it's green and lush. My beautiful Lake Michigan. I see the skyline as we get close. My roots are here, and I will never leave. Boom.
Boom. Purky. Well done. Thank you, Anne.
Fabulous.
Great way to start it off. And by the way, yeah, we'll announce this later when Steph comes. There's another contest, a Chicago-based contest. If you have stories that revolve around or are centered on that city, and you can do it in a short period of time, there's an opportunity. But when Steph gets here, I don't know if she's here. I'll let her say something maybe at the intermission. Now, what we're going to do now is we are going to go into the hat.
The North Carolina hat.
We're going into the North Carolina hat. I'm picking 4 names completely random, and those are the 4 people that are going to go. Oh, I don't want you to see it just yet. They're going to go first, second, third, and fourth. Here we go. Hang on. I'm going to actually mix these up. Here we go. And the first person is going to be, I believe she's here, Shweta. Shweta, if you are not here, you'll let me know. Second is Tina. Third is Sharon. Mary, what a group, huh?
Oh.
Fourth is Richard. What a section this is. You gotta be kidding me. All right. There's so much talent here. It's just like, wow. I'm glad I'm not voting. I don't have a vote. I don't want to vote. I can't do it. They're all so good.
So good.
All right, Shweta, I just want to make sure I can find you so that we can highlight you. Are you here? There she is.
I am here.
All right, everybody else, would you mind please making sure that you are muted? I'm going to highlight Shweta, and she is going to kick off the competitive part of this evening. Break a leg.
It's falafel night, and I'm home visiting my parents after being on the road for work between New York City and San Francisco. I finally get to eat my mom's food, and I love falafel. There was this cafe in San Francisco that made a wrap in a steamed collard leaf. And so I think I'm going to do that. I get a steamed collard leaf, I fill it with the perfectly fried falafels, slather it in tahini, roll it up, cut it on the bias, plate it, and take a bite. It's so good. I take another bite, and then I start to notice everyone looking at me, and they don't look as happy as I feel. What are you doing? Aren't you going to eat in a pita like the rest of us? Are you doing it again? Are you restricting calories? Are you not eating carbs? And I start to cry, and my food, it doesn't taste as good. Why are they yelling at me? And then I realize they've seen me restrict calories. They've seen me not eat carbs, but I'm better now. So I get up. In between tears and bites, I grab a pita. I fill it with the perfectly fried falafel, slather it in tahini, roll it up, cut it on the bias, plate it, and I take a bite. I'm not hungry, but I need them to know I'm okay. Boom.
Boom. Starting us off, Shweta, who's in Massachusetts, by the way. Thank you, Shweta. Wow. All right, here we go, Mary. Here we go, Joanne. It's always good. And this is, of course, the Grand Slam. So It's the best of the best.
Best of the best.
The
Absolutely.
best of the best. It's the best of the best. Let's keep rolling, right? This is all about the stories, the storytellers. Let us find Tina. We'll highlight her. We'll spotlight her. There she is. Tina, you take your time. Break a leg.
Lafayette, California, 1957. I'm playing in the sandbox with my little brother, John, when my mother's cooking dinner. I'm 5 and John is 2.5. My mother walks out onto the lanai and she says, "Where's John?" And we both see the open gate and we run to it. And when we get there, there's the screech of brakes, a thud, and something flies through the air. So we run to the railroad tracks, and there in a clump of weeds, we find John's body. And my mother turns to me and she says, "Tina, you bad girl, you opened the gate and you've killed your brother." But he doesn't die. He's in a coma for 9 months. And when he comes out, he's profoundly brain damaged. And they bring him home and they put his crib right next to my bed. And one night he just won't stop crying. So I grab a pair of scissors and I cut off my hair. And I cut off the hair of my dolls. I am a bad, bad girl. I opened the gate. Boom.
Thank you, Tina. Tina is in New York State. You know, Mary, that I always talk about.
I know.
Where people are, where are they? You know, I'm obsessed with that.
I love that. It just shows where everybody is coming from.
We're all over the place.
And coming. Yeah.
You know, a year and a half ago, this does not happen.
No.
There's no way we get all this talent in one place. This is what, as hard as the past year plus has been, this is one of the lovely parts about it. By the way, Mary, I love your new microphone. I think it's
Thank
new.
you.
That's really awesome.
Thank you. I had to up my game. You know, I mean, it's the Grand Slam.
Right?
Game.
I've upped my game with the vest I'm wearing tonight. You like
I
it?
know. I do. I
Yeah.
do. And the gift.
Yeah. Yeah. So we had Shweta in Mass, Tina in New York, and next up is going to be Sharon. She's in North Carolina. Sharon, let's spotlight you. Take your time. Have some fun.
I'm in 10th grade at Prospect Park, Benos Leia Yeshiva High School for Girls, which is already really weird because I'm from Santa Barbara, California. And I'm in this school and I hate it. We just moved to Brooklyn because my mom became born again Jewish and Brooklyn is where they go. So the year is horrible. I'm surrounded by people I don't like, I don't have anything in common with, but one good thing happens. I am chosen to be in the concert, to be in the band for concert, which is the big, big deal. And I'm playing bass guitar, which I don't play, but they assure me that it's just like cello. So I'm in this concert. I'm ready to go. I'm so excited. The first good thing to happen all year. And I'm getting dressed before, and I'm wearing a white shirt, and I'm supposed to wear a black skirt, but I don't have a long black skirt over my knees, and it's a yeshiva, so that's the deal. So I just wear what I have, which is a black skirt to my knees. Concert goes great. 300 people in the audience. Awesome. Afterwards, everybody comes up to tell us how wonderful we were. Except to me, they all add something. They all say, "You were wonderful, but your skirt's too short. You were wonderful, but we could see your knees." And I start to feel humiliated, embarrassed. Why is everybody looking at my knees? And then my English teacher comes up, Edna Davis, and she says, "Sharon, you did a good job, but your skirt's too short and we could see your knees." And then I felt someone behind me, and it was my mother, and she put her arm around my shoulder, and I heard her say, "Well, Mrs. Davis, I think your skirt is too tight, and I could see the outline of your butt." Best day ever.
Nice, Sharon. Thank you. Sharon Eisner's in North Carolina. Mary, Mary, all I want to say is I'm glad I don't have to choose.
Right?
I'm glad that I don't have to choose.
No, it's wow. Wow.
Right?
It's everybody's pulled out their best tonight. It's
Best of
amazing.
the best. And after our fourth teller goes in a moment, Richard in Las Vegas, assuming he's at or under time, you'll give your summaries. You'll give your summaries either way. And then the audience will have their first opportunity to vote. Fair?
Fair. That's how we do it here. We're fair.
That's how we roll. Richard is ready. I'm going to spotlight him. Richard, take your time. Have some fun.
I'm 22 years old and I'm a blackjack dealer at the Golden Nugget Casino in Las Vegas. And I'm just ready to go on my break. And as I come off my game, I look and there he is across the casino. 6'6" string bean in a 10-gallon hat. It's Amarillo Slim. I have been watching this guy on Johnny Carson since I was a kid. He's one of my heroes. And I make a beeline across the casino. And I get up to him because I know this guy is a poker world champion, but I heard he started playing backgammon. And when it comes to backgammon, I am the shit. I made my way through college playing backgammon for a living. And so I know if I can get this guy in a game, I can win thousands of dollars. I head up to him. I go, Slim, hey, it's really a pleasure to meet you. I just want to tell you what a big fan I am. I've been watching you since I was a kid. And he says, thank you. He's very good. Hey, I heard you play backgammon. You know, I love to play backgammon. So if you ever want to play sometime, and he kind of cocks his head and he goes, but do you like to gamble? And I said, oh, yeah, I love to bet. I like to bet high. And I think, I've got him right where I want him. And he laughs and he goes, kid, I saw you coming before your car crossed the state line. And he chuckles and turns around and walked away. Boom.
Thank you, Richard. All right, Mary, here we go. I've got great news. You know what the great news is, right?
I do. Everybody stayed in time.
The great news is that everybody was at or under time, which means I don't have to disqualify anybody. And now means the lovely Queen Mary Dava will give you the summaries. By the way, as you're listening to these stories, perhaps I should have been a little more explicit about this. You should be figuring out which story you like the best. If you have a system, use it. If it's just up in your noggin, that's great. And now you also have Mary who's going to summarize. I will put a blurb of the blurb in the poll, and then in a moment we'll launch that poll. Mary, whenever you're ready.
Shweta had that delicious falafel, even though she wasn't hungry, to let her family know that she was okay. Tina was told she was a bad girl for an accident that her brother got into, where she wasn't a bad girl at all. Sharon, her mom made it the best day ever when she finally told someone that her skirt was not too short in the concert. And Richard, Amarillo Slim saw him coming in his car before he even crossed the state line. Wouldn't let him gamble with him on backgammon.
Love it. What a way to start it off.
I am so excited. Amazing stories. Just amazing.
Fantastic stories. Thank you to our 4 storytellers who started us off, obviously, always. And of course, Anne in Chicago. She's not competing, but she always does a great job.
Amazing. Really
starting it off. I'm going to launch this poll. I'll give you at most a minute. That should be more than enough time. It's almost the length of the stories, right?
All right.
And everybody gets to vote except for me, Mary, and Joanne. Everybody, including the tellers, please vote now. They're coming in.
They are.
Well, this is close. Everybody needs to vote. This is really, really close, as they often are. They're often close, Mary.
They are. Well, that's because the stories are so good. I get why these are so close.
Mm-hmm. We have a few more people that could vote, and it will make a difference.
Absolutely.
We have 5 more people that could vote. Now, you might not be hearing this because maybe you're not voting because you're in the bathroom or somewhere else. let's give it, I like to give it a minute. That's about 12 more seconds. Remember last slam, that this little time that we gave made the difference.
It made the difference. It really did.
3 more people could vote. And we're gonna close it. I think, yep, we've got a winner. All right, there we go. Mary and Joanne, you saw that, I assume?
Yes.
Fantastic. So take whatever notes you need. And let us continue with round 2. Wow. What a show. I mean, I guess we are putting the show on, so it sounds weird for me to say what a show, but it's so good.
So good.
It's so good. By the way, I told the storytellers they came on a little early. Tomorrow is actually the 1-year anniversary of our very first 99-second slam, or some similar format. So go figure, 1 year later, here we are. We're still kicking it.
Yeah, going on to season 5.
I just picked 4 names out of the North Carolina hat. It is difficult for me to say or not say Peruvian hat. I'm getting used to it.
Right. You pulled out the fancy stuff.
Did somebody just put the poll up?
I don't think.
Here we go. Silvana, you got it. You got a little time. Kwong, this is the order you'll be telling. Mark and Kat. Silvana, Kwong, Mark, and Kat. We're going to find Silvana. There she is. And everybody else is going to stay muted, please. I appreciate that. And by the way, tellers, look at the chat because there's a lot of love coming your way. Silvana, whenever you're ready, take your time. Break a leg.
My husband and I are emergency foster parents. We took in 2 boys who I'll call Sam and Eric. Their dad was in jail for murder and their mother had deserted them. Eric came with cigarette burns on his chest. So I looked at the paperwork the social worker left and I saw it was Sam's birthday. And I spontaneously said, "Sam, you're going to have a birthday party." The boys start jumping up and down saying, "We've never had a birthday party." And I'm frantically thinking, how do I plan an instant party? "Sam," I said, "because you're 7 years old, you get to make your own birthday cake." So I get Sam cracking the eggs and he keeps saying, "Is this my cake? Can I eat it?" My husband takes Eric and they start decorating. Now, Eric is so excited, he's wrapping crepe paper around all our plants and around the toilet because this is a party. While the cake bakes, my husband takes the boys out to the park where we have hidden small treasure chests that we keep out there for foster kids. They come back and I have Sam spread frosting all over the cake and he adds an entire container of sprinkles. And he says, "This is the world's greatest party." And the next morning, the boys come to us very earnestly and they say, "Can we live with you forever?" And my heart just breaks in half because I have to tell them they're going to a long-term foster home. And I get ripped apart every time when these foster children leave our house, but I still do it because I want them to know that there are kind and funny people in the world that would never hurt them. Boom.
All right. Thank you, Silvana. Up in the Pacific Northwest, Queen Mary, they're all over the place. They're in time zones all over. Our next storyteller, he's not in the United States. I know he's resided in more than one country. He will tell us, perhaps after his story, where he is. I think he is in Australia. Right now, let us spotlight him and listen to his story.
I'm 10 years old and I'm sitting in a Chinese restaurant having dinner with family friends. On my right is Bradley, 5 years old, sweet and innocent. On my left is Will, cool and cool. I know he's cool because he dresses cool, he walks cool, and whenever he plays a prank, all the kids laugh. I want to be like Will. So when the waiter brings out a plate of sweet and sour pork, it's my chance to impress him. Because I see a plate of sweet and sour pork, a small dish of red hot chili sauce, and an innocent little lamb. When Bradley turns away, I elbow Will. I grab a piece of sweet and sour pork, I roll it in the chili sauce, and I put it on Bradley's plate. I take some pork, put it on my plate and Will's plate. When Bradley turns around, I eat my pork. Mm-mm. Will eats his pork. Mm-mm. Bradley eats his pork. Mm-mm. He spits out the pork, his eyes burst into flames, and his tongue drops like an anvil. He runs and screams towards his mum. Will bursts out laughing. He gives me this massive high five, and I get the recognition I want. But as I look at Bradley, I think this recognition doesn't taste sweet. It just tastes sour.
Thank you, Kwong. In Australia, is that right? He is in Australia.
Correct.
All right, I got that right. There, you know, I just like to know where people are. I don't want to be wrong. I want to be wrong about that.
Your memory is amazing. I was going to say New Zealand. So yeah,
Australians love when you do that. They love that.
No. I thought
where are you, Mary? Are you in Hartford?
Oh, you're adorable.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
It's like saying I'm in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Right, okay. It's like saying I'm in North Carolina.
Right.
Oh, wait. Oh, hang on. All right. Let's get this baby moving. It is rolling. We have had 7 total storytellers, 6 that are in the competition, and all the stories are really legitimately sublime.
Yes.
Mark is in Massachusetts. We all know something's in the water in that great state, right?
Absolutely.
Here's Mark. Mark, take your time.
It's September 1982, and I am terrified. I just graduated high school. All my friends have gone off to college, and I'm still in my mom's basement. See, I was telling everybody who would listen that I was going to take a gap year and I was going to move to Alaska, and it was time to put up. Then I get a call from my best friend's little sister, and Shannon's inviting me to a party. And she says, you know, of all Sean's friends, you're at least tolerable. I was a nerd in high school, an outsider, and I still am. I got invited to maybe 2 parties in all high school, and they weren't the cool kids parties. And when I went to the party, I was the kid who was always cleaning all the time. And Shannon's inviting me to a cool kids party. It's a toga party. Excuse me. It's to a cool kids party. It's a toga party. And I think maybe I can parlay some of this like high school graduate cachet with the kids. And I make the mistake of asking Shannon, why me? And Shannon says, well, I don't really trust any of the boys at the party not to rape me when I'm drunk. And I don't trust any of the girls to say anything if they do. And that's when I realized that there are some things worse than being an outsider. Boom.
Thank you, Mark. Here we go. Mary, we are going. You know what I love about always these slams, maybe the Grand Slam even more, is to get all kinds of 99s, right?
All kinds. Yeah. I love the range of themes. Oh,
different themes. Some are a little lighter and funny, some are a little heavier and weighty, and stuff in between. It's such a nice like menu. What's that the right word? All right, whatever. Maybe not the best. Smorgasbord, if you will.
Yes.
Of stories and talent, and I love it. So thank you. I want to thank him again.
Yes, super creative.
Yeah, and thank you. And thank Joanne, who's one of our judges. All right.
You, Sean.
Absolutely. All right, let us keep moving along here. Final storyteller of section 2. She also resides in North Carolina, and her name is Kat Dean. Kat, you're gonna unmute whenever you're ready.
All right, I'm gonna start my timer. I'm alone at long last. My children are visiting their dad for the first time in 2 years. I can do anything I want to do. I can lay around on the sofa in my underwear if I want to, or eat a head of lettuce over the sink and call it dinner. This is going to be great. But first things first, I'm going to take my shower, my beautiful shower, the first one I've had in 2 years without 2 little children on the other side of the curtain talking to me. And I let that water run down my face. I sing every show tune I can think of. And then I lay down on the bottom of the tub and take a steam bath and stay there until the last drop of hot water has been squeezed out of my hot water heater. And as I'm getting out and I'm toweling off and thinking about what other wonderful solo things I'm going to do today, I hear a sound. It's a television. It's playing cartoons. What the hell? And so I get dressed quickly and I go into my living room, and there's my nephew, Sid. He's 4 years old and he lives next door. And he's so little, his feet don't reach the edge of the sofa. And I say, hey, Sid, buddy, you know, the girls aren't going to be here for 2 weeks. And he doesn't even take his eyes off the TV. He just stares at it and says, I know, I'm here to see you. So I'm not alone, but I am honored. So I make us some popcorn and we watch The Iron Giant all afternoon and then go for a nice long walk together. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Kat Dean in North Carolina. Mary, I have got more great news. You know what it is?
Could it be that everybody was at or under time?
That is correct. It always puts me, I'm a simple man. Simple man, it makes me feel good. Everybody gets to get like legitimately sort of assessed or evaluated. Mary, whenever you are ready, I am ready, and we are ready for your blurbing.
Thank you. So Silvana wanted to show Eric and Sam that there are still kind and funny people in the world as she does her foster care for them. Kwong, who's from Australia, realized that sometimes a practical joke isn't too sweet when he set Bradley's eyes on fire with chili sauce. Mark realized that there's things that are worse than being an outsider when he got asked to a party from a girl who couldn't trust anybody. And Kat may have not been alone, but she was honored when her nephew came over and wanted to see her and not her two girls who are now spending 2 weeks with their dad.
All right, all right. So if you had to just choose 2 words for each, what would you say? I'm going to put you on the spot.
That's fine.
You're good at this. You're good at
I
this.
am. What can we say? Silvana, I think kind and funny people. That's 3 words though.
All right, go on.
Or it could also the instant birthday party. Birthday party. Right.
Okay. Sure.
So Kwong, chili sauce, practical joke. Either one of those.
Either way, yeah.
Mark, cool kids party. I'm giving you 3 words.
That's okay.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, our Melissa mentioned Kwong is sweet and sour. So chat. Melissa's trying to help us in the chat.
Appreciate it, Melissa.
Yes. And Kat, I think not alone.
All right. I'm going to do what you say. I think there's a good look. People already heard the stories once, and that was they just heard them. They're not very long. And you blurbed it, and now they're going to get a little extra here. So I'm going to go here. Make sure we've got Silvana, Kwong, Mark, and Kat. And hopefully everybody can vote because the last one was super, super close. Here we go.
Vote, vote, vote.
Vote, vote, vote.
Yes.
Hopefully we won't end up. Ooh, wow. I don't want to show this to people. It's not the end of the world, but typically, wow, this is ridiculous.
Super close, guys. Super close.
We're not just saying it.
No,
It's like
no,
ridiculous.
it really is.
We're not just saying it. We have 5 more people that could vote, 4 more people that could vote, and it is a 3-way basically tie. What I'm gonna do, if there is a tie, I should have said this, but this is the way we do it. We're gonna have a runoff, and we'll do it right now.
Okay.
All right, because we don't have room in the second round for another person. So if there is indeed a tie, we will put those 2 or 3 names up again, and people will vote right now again. They'll just have to give me a moment to make the poll.
I
We
get it.
have 3 more people that could vote, and we do have a winner by 1 vote. So please vote.
Yeah. Can make a difference.
Make a difference. An interesting moment here, huh? How much longer do I leave the poll up, Mary? I'm gonna leave. You get the executive decision here.
I think we should call it myself.
I don't see a poll.
No?
Poll
I don't
arrived.
see a poll either.
All right. Is there anybody else who doesn't see a poll? All right. So if you don't see a poll, 2 things. Right now, go to chat and message just me your winner. Okay. just message me your winner. Please, if you voted, don't do it again. I trust you. You're all good people. You're all honest people. And if by any chance that applies to the first poll, you can also message me just the person's name and I'll get it directly to me. Okay. Let's give it a little bit more time just so everyone's clear on that. Okay, Mary?
Yeah, that
So
works.
you're talking about just the poll that came out
Yeah,
for the
Elena
second
Beth,
set, not a runoff.
I got your, Elena Beth, I got your information for the first one.
Yes, I know, but you didn't set up a runoff poll though, right?
Correct, because right now we
Okay.
don't need to. Right. All right, so it looks like everybody who hasn't voted or didn't see the poll has voted. And from that, we do have a winner. All right, cool. Let's close that. Apologies for any tech issues. I don't know why some people haven't or didn't see the poll. It might be a settings issue. But moving forward, if that happens again, we'll do the same thing. You'll just message me. It'll be easy that way. All right.
We
Cool.
make it work. We make it
We'll
work.
make it work. We'll make it work. All right. Let me go back into the bag here, the hat, I should say, and pick out 4 more names. We are halfway through round 1. As always, these stories are compelling and relatable and just solid. Just
Amazing.
good stories, right?
I think they're amazing. I'm always in awe of the stories that people do in less than 99 seconds. Some people.
Absolutely. Yeah, some people are coming under and they're doing a good job of it.
Amazing.
Next 4 names. Here we go. I'm going to mix them up a little bit, not much. And the next teller, if you will tell in this order, live from Florida is Walt. In Massachusetts is Andrew. In Illinois is Kate. And in California, Neshama. Wow, this is as good as it gets. All right, let us find Walt and we will start section 3 of round 1. There he is, Walt, and I think
Okay,
you're
can
good
you hear
whenever
me?
you're ready. We're ready for you.
Can you hear me? Am I good?
Can hear you.
Okay. It's 1966 and I'm a freshman at a small Baptist college. They got more rules than a prison. And one Saturday morning after I'd been out partying, I came close to getting kicked out. It was Parents' Day and the men's dorm was crawling with Baptists and their offspring. And I went into the bathroom for a shower. And when I was done, I discovered my roommate had locked me in. Well, we shared this bathroom with an adjoining dorm room and that door was open. I went into the room and looked around. There was nobody there. I went to the door that opened to the hall and peeked out. Suddenly, 2 guys who had been in the closet jumped out and pushed me out the door. And they closed behind me, and there I am, standing naked, dripping wet, holding a towel. I'd been set up. Voices were coming from the end of the stairwell at one end of the hall. I started running toward the other end. I could hear more voices. I heard somebody scream. As I reached the stairwell, a family was coming up. I bounded to the 2nd floor. More screams. I tried every door down the hallway until one opened, and I hid there till the pandemonium died down. Now, the college never found out who that naked runner was, because if you were naked and you throw a towel over your head, nobody's going to be looking at your face. Boom.
Thank you, Walt. Mr. Walt, in Florida, there are several tellers here are representing their entire state. I believe Walt is one of them. He's the only person here this evening, at least telling a story in Florida. No pressure.
No, no, representing.
Representing the Sunshine State.
That's right.
All right, let's move up to your part of the woods now.
Yeah.
The Commonwealth, I think they like to call it. They don't like to call it a state. They like to call it a Commonwealth
Commonwealth, that is true.
of Massachusetts. Let's spotlight Andrew. Andrew, take your time, have some fun.
The guy isn't happy. He says to me, "You took my parking spot." I know where he's coming from. I saw him there. He had his blinker on, his left blinker, and I ignored him. And I put my right blinker on and I pulled into the angled spot. He got out of his car, he left it running the street, and he's standing next to me when I get out of my car. But here's the thing. He knows that there are signs all over the place that say no left turns into parking spaces. He's trying to break the rules and he's trying to bully me. And here's another thing, which he doesn't know. My father died 12 hours ago. Since then, I've been to the funeral home with my mother. I've greeted family friends as they brought over condolences and lasagnas, and I've begun writing a eulogy. Now it's Saturday evening and I'm going to a restaurant to talk to the manager about holding the wake there. I feel like the universe has flipped upside down. And this guy wants to start something with me about a parking space. But here's another thing. I want him to start something with me. I want him to do something. I want to feel something other than the massive grief I'm feeling right now. I want him to follow the rules. We stare at each other, waiting for something to happen. And it occurs to me I'll never be able to tell my father about this incident. But I'm late. Read the signs, I say, and I turn and I walk away. The guy says something to me that I can't quite hear. And I keep walking and I tell myself that everything is going to be okay, because just for one moment, I've restored a tiny bit of justice to the universe. Boom.
Boom it is. Thank you, Andrew. Mr. Andrew Shelffo in Massachusetts. First two storytellers of round one, section 3 are on the Eastern time zone. Now we're going into the Central time zone. You're an hour behind, or we're an hour ahead, depending on how you want to say it. Let's roll over to Miss Kate. Whenever you're ready, Kate, the stage is yours.
Growing up, my family took summer vacations to Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. And that's where my dad taught me and my sister how to water ski. But after childhood, I didn't ski again until meeting my boyfriend, Pat, in college. Pat had a speedboat and was an ace water skier. So he towed his boat to a lake, and I couldn't wait to give skiing another go. So when it was my turn, I got in the water and signaled to Pat to hit the throttle. Little did I know that when I lifted up out of the water, my strapless tube top had rolled all the way down. I was completely bare-breasted, jumping back and forth over the waves, oblivious that my knockers were on full display. Pat was looking at me from the boat with a big smile, and I thought it was because my water skiing was so good. And some of the other boaters on the lake were waving and smiling, and I was smiling back. I got tired, dropped the rope, and waited for the boat to pick me up. When I climbed aboard, Pat said, "Your top was down the whole time. You look great." I turned beet red 6 ways to Sunday. And later, at our dinner spot, we saw some of the same people who were on the lake waving, but I showed up in a big floppy hat and sunglasses, my pair of water balloons safely stowed away. Boom.
Boom. Thank you, Kate. Mary representing not the only person here this evening, I think, from Illinois, but a fine representation of the great state of Illinois.
Absolutely.
Still not sure why we don't pronounce the S at the end. I'm not sure, but we don't pronounce the S at the end.
No.
Just don't say it.
We don't.
You don't need to say it.
No.
Let's go west, shall we?
Let's go west.
Let's go to the West Coast right now. We'll find Neshama, Franklin, California. Where is she? Let's both look for Neshama.
Oh, you got it.
There she.
I got her.
Oh, I see. There she is. Thank you for the hand signals. That's helpful. Neshama, whenever you are ready, we are ready for you.
So who is that Susan for? Certainly not me. I mean, that's what my parents named me. And I knew from the beginning it wasn't really my name. And then I got to school and they said, well, you can be Susan for. In 1939, most of them were Susan and the other half were Nancy. And so I started to look for a new name. Patrice, Zina, and Alice, like Alice in Wonderland. But then my parents made the mistake of telling me I actually had another name, a ceremonial name, Neshama, for my great-grandmother, but you don't use it in real life. But I claimed it. I said, that's my name. I couldn't change it till I got to junior high. And because I was a teenager, I called myself Nikki with 2 Ks for nickname. But then in the real world, I was Well, I thought I'd be Neshama, but my African-American dance teacher said nobody can do the so you're Neshama. And from that day to this, that's been my name. Susan Rosenbaum on the birth certificate. Neshama Franklin in real life with no legal interface. No one has ever questioned it. I claim my name proudly, no matter what my parents thought. Boom.
That's how West Coast rolls, Mary.
That's right. Right. And I loved her boom.
Everyone's got their own style of not only story crafting and storytelling, but of booming.
Yes. Look at that.
Everybody's got their own little boom style. We appreciate all of it.
All of it.
The chat for all sorts of praise and love coming through. No one went over time.
Yes.
No one over time. So we've got 4 tellers, 4 stories. Mary, you're going to do your blurbing.
I will.
I'm going to do the poll. What do we got?
Good. So Walt was never found out when he was the victim of a practical joke while he was in the shower because he was a naked runner with a towel over his face. Andrew made the universe rules right after someone confronted him 12 hours after his dad died. Kate was, how can I say this? Her knockers were on full display. And if you don't know what that story is about, what can I tell you? All right. And
Right.
Susan 4, Nikki, no, we know her as Neshama.
All right. I think I've got a fair enough blurb of your blurbs that our lovely audience, who I want to thank again for being here.
Yes.
Very, very clear on who said what, who told what. So let's launch this poll. And again, I want to say, I am really glad I'm not one of the people voting here. All right, we've got Walt, Andrew, Kate, and Neshama. Let us vote. And again, if you don't see the poll, it's okay. Just message me directly right here in the chat, and I will add that. I'm totally fair, I promise. And Mary and Joanne are the only people right now who can see the poll, and they will confirm that it is once again a very, very close poll. They are very close.
You know, it's amazing. We can't make that up.
No.
You know,
Why I don't want to make.
No.
4 more people could vote, and it could make a difference. So again, I don't know if it's the same people who keep not voting. Maybe they're just not voters.
Maybe
they just don't want to do it. By the way, I'll remind you, if you don't see a polling option right now, not sure what's wrong, but message me, please. Go in the chat and just put the person's first name, and I'll add it to it. Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't see a poll right now, it looks like I think we have a winner. Do you agree?
I agree with you.
All right, let's close poll. This poll from round 1, section 3. That of course means we only have one more section. These 4 storytellers have been patient for sure, right? They're the last 4 to go.
Absolutely. Do you want me to end it, Sean, the poll? Do you want me to end it?
You can end it. I thought I ended it, but maybe my tech skills need some work. Not maybe.
There we go.
All right. And I've got 4 more names, the final 4 of all of our Grand Slam finalists. And in a few minutes after they tell their stories, we'll have a little intermission. Steph Rogers, if you're here, I'm going to give you the mic for a minute or 2 to talk about your project.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll announce the 6 people going to the second round. Right, and they'll be like they're like the grand of the Grand Slam, grand, and then we'll have a winner, and then we'll hang out if you want. All right, here we go. I'm mixing them up.
Mix it up.
Number 1 in section 4 of round 1 is Tracey. Then we have Nadia. Then we have Emily, and finally, our final storyteller of round 1. She knows who she is by process of elimination. Is Angela. All right, I got to say, 12 or actually 13 stories thus far. I am blown away.
I can't believe it. They're so good.
I am blown away. Let's find Tracey. There she is, and we're going to spotlight her. Tracey, take your time whenever you're ready.
You hear me okay?
Yeah.
Great. In the 1990s, I worked on Wall Street in the thick of it on a trading desk. Wasn't really a trader, but I was kind of a human Wikipedia. It was my job to always know why a stock was up or down and what exactly to do about it. Now, my salary at the time was barely $40,000 in New York. but I was promised a big bonus. And I had several friends of mine that scored $200,000 and $300,000 bonuses in their first year. I was stoked and I made so much money that year for the firm. So the year goes by and I get my bonus check and I'm just thinking of all the possibilities, and I rip my envelope open and it says $500, 500, and I'm blind with rage, and I storm into the corner office of the executive director and I say, "You stole from me, you thieving bastard. I'm going to sit here until you write me a new check with a couple of more zeros in it." And then he smirks and says nothing. And then there's this awkward moment where I promised I'm not going to leave, and yet I hear security has been paged, and I hear them coming down the hallway, and I think I have no plan B. I'm the little tiny fish in the big pond. And then the door slams open, and it's Lawrence Kudlow, the White House economic advisor and Fox talking head. And he says, "Get out of here, Kat. I got my bonus check and I'm missing a couple of zeros." And I said, "Oh my God, me too." And in that moment, I realized I was kind of swimming with the big fish. Oh yeah.
Thank you, Tracey. You see that, Mary? You see what she did? Her style of boom is a little different. You gotta love that style. A little sauce, a little sass.
Little
Booyah.
sass. Booyah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. All right. Nice. So thank you very much, Tracey. And as promised, we're going to move this along because nobody wants to be here for 3 hours.
No.
Nobody wants that. 90 minutes is a solid, tight show. Let us keep it moving.
Yes,
Some of us have things to do this evening. To be frank, I don't. I've got nothing going on, but no one gives a shit. Okay, Nadia, where is Nadia? Help me find Nadia. We'll spotlight her, and then we'll listen to her story.
We just run a tight ship.
I know she is. All right.
Better?
Nadia, we are ready when you're ready. Take your time.
That day in 8th grade, when my French teacher said that she was so proud of me for acing 2 consecutive tests, was the happiest day of my life. I had never heard those words before from anyone else, and I decided to invest all my free time in learning French to make her proud forever. I stayed after school to practice French with her. We would take turns and read the dialogues from French plays and get silly with our voices. I lived for that time with her because that was the only time in my day when I felt loved and valued. I started dreaming about being her daughter. I would not have to feel anxious anymore when I had to go home wondering if my father would hit my mom, my siblings, or me. I would not have to lie at school and say my bruises and welts were from falling down or innocent scuffles with my siblings. It would be perfect if only I could be her daughter. One day, close to the end of the school year, as the bell rang at the end of the day, I jumped out of my seat, ready to run to my French teacher's office, when the principal walked into our classroom and told us to quiet down because she had an important announcement to make. Your French teacher, she had a heart attack this afternoon. She died. Don't come to your first period tomorrow because we don't have a sub yet. Boom.
Thank you, Nadia. Nadia is also in Illinois. Mary, we got a lot of people in Massachusetts and Illinois. Those are 2 hotbeds of storytelling.
Really?
Thank you for that, Nadia. Nadia also has a very pronounced boom.
She does.
I think I'm focusing more, I'm paying more attention to the booms and how people say them and when they say them.
Right. It's
Yeah.
interesting. It's,
It-
again, creative.
It is part of a larger body of work for sure.
It is.
Let us keep moving along here. Our second to last of round 1, we are going to find Emily, who is joining us from not where she lives, but she's like, I'm doing this thing. I'm going to make it happen somehow. So she's joining us. I believe she's currently in Texas. It's not so important right now. All we want to do is hear her story. So Emily, whenever you're ready, we are ready to hear you.
Okay. I'm not right for you, he says, and I agree, but I don't want to say why. When I was 10, I didn't have words for this feelings, deep sorrow and sadness. I just knew that I wanted my parent to be okay, and so I would constantly check up on them, seeing if there was anything I could do or say that would make things better. but you can't fix depression. I didn't know that. I became an emotional caretaker thinking I could. And I told my 10-year-old self recently that no, you can't do that. But old habits die hard, and it is hardwired into me. He feels so familiar. He feels so comfortable. And when we're together, yes, I feel his emotional waves. I always know how he's doing. I can always tell. But I promised myself I would not do this again. And so when he says, I'm not right for you, I agree. I don't tell him it's his depression and my codependency. I just agree. I get up, I leave, and I can tell that there's nothing I can do to fix this. And I can feel him as I leave. Boom.
Thank you, Emily. Emily's joining us from Texas. She's not from Texas, Mary. She's on the road. She's doing things, but she's still finding the time to join us here.
That's right.
Second.
Found in a room, and here she is.
There she is. It's the marvels of technology, right? We hate it, but hey, look what it allows us to do. Sometimes it's a good thing, right?
It is.
So yeah. Last storyteller of round one. And again, if she's under time, notice that there's a lot of women here this evening.
There are.
It's like double the women. Are they just better at this? I don't know.
They're representing. What can I say?
It just makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. Angela, where are you? We're gonna find Angela and spotlight her.
I was last time.
Oh, you were last. How about that? You're just meant to be in this position. She's gonna close out round one. Whenever you're ready, break away.
I don't think my Catholic college realized that they had just given a full scholarship to an atheist. I was surrounded by religion. The school was run by priests. There were required theology classes. There were marble Virgin Marys lurking around every corner. I became friends with some of the seminarians who were there studying before they took their vows of piety and poverty and abstinence. They had a nickname for me. They called me the little heathen girl, and they said it with love. 2 years in, though, I was suffocating. I felt alien. I wanted to leave, but my parents, who had not been paying tuition, were not about to start, especially not for a theater degree, and so I stayed. Now, there was a legend around campus that if a female student graduated with her virginity intact, that the statue of the patron saint in the middle of campus would come to life. Now, I didn't believe it, but the night before graduation, I got drunk and I slept with a guy named Jeff who lived next door, because sometimes even a non-believer like me needs to perform an act of faith.
Thank you, Angela. I think Angela's also in Massachusetts.
Yes, yes, she is.
Unbelievable, Mary. Tell me, you live up there. What are you drinking? What's in the water?
Well, listen, it's stuff that we really can't discuss here, but it has to do with our accent.
Is that what you're drinking right now? Is that helping? Is that the
Dunkin' Donuts? Yeah, Dunkin' Donuts is big here.
Who loves what Mary did with her background? It's sort of like a colorful, like, yeah, whatever it is.
Mystical.
It's mystical. It's so on brand for you.
Thank you.
It's so on brand for you. Final storyteller was Angela. Nobody went over the entire round. Makes me feel good. Hoping that for the second round, of course. And before, Mary, you share the blurbs, I want to give Steph Rogers, not now, Steph, not just yet, but in a few moments, there might be some people refreshing their drinks or using the laboratory or whatever, but Steph's going to come on and tell us about an opportunity, a project she's working on that might apply to some people here. It's pretty exciting.
Super awesome.
But before then, let's blurb it up. Here we go.
All right. So Tracey marched into her boss's office to talk about her bonus, and when others did it too, even though security showed up, she realized she was swimming with the big fish. Nadia's dreams were dashed when her French teacher left this earth, when Nadia thought she was going to be able to have the dream she hoped for. Emily realized that a relationship reminded her of her parents and her family and the past, and knew there was nothing more she could do to help. And Angela was the little heathen girl in her Catholic college.
Okay, I think I got a good enough. Forgive any potential spelling mistakes. Zoom doesn't have an autocorrect, so my
Right.
spelling and grammar problems are being clearly highlighted here.
Sorry, we know what you mean.
We know what I mean, and I do want to let everybody know that yes, Steph, of course, it's yours. Also, I just want to let everybody know, if you did send me directly anybody's name, because you didn't, I got it. Just don't. I promise, all your votes counted. There's only a few people. It seems like most people are seeing the poll just fine.
Yeah.
Let us launch this final poll of round one. And again, I can't tell you how I am just amazed always at the quality. I don't even know why I'm amazed at this point, because it just keeps happening.
It's just fabulous.
Tracey, Nadia, Emily, and Angela, please vote. And just so you know, Neshama, among others, I am seeing you're sending me, because you can't see the poll. I got it. This is another close one. Really close. It's a two-person race. We'll leave it at that.
Yep.
And your vote it is a 1 vote difference right now, with one person not voting. Where are you?
Oh.
All right, so right now, all right, I just want to make sure, because this will make a difference.
Whoa.
Neshama, don't say anything. I had to be weird. I just want to be clear, Neshama. Send to me in the chat that you voted. So I will not also double count it here in the chat. You did vote, correct? Because it will make a difference. I will wait for that until we close the poll. Okay, I got it, Neshama. All right, let's leave this open for 10 more seconds. There's one person who hasn't voted, and it will make a difference. It is that close, as most of our polls this evening have been. All right, Mary, I am closing this. We do have a winner by a vote.
All right.
See that?
I see it. I see it.
All right. That means we have 4 winners from the polls, and Mary and Joanne and I are going to do what we do behind the scenes and find our 5th and 6th storytellers to go to the final round. Right now, take a few minutes. What we're going to do, it's not really a break, but this would be like the opportunity now to go use the bathroom or get a drink. You can do that throughout the show, of course. I am going to find Steph Rogers, who, by the way, before she comes on, she was the real brainchild behind the 99. It was originally 90. She had a video submission contest. I love the idea. I wanted to make it a slam. We played with the length and made it 99, but credit to her and her people. And she's got something else around this super short story form. So Steph, let me find you. And while you do that, we can figure out our other tellers who are going through. Where are you? There you. Where are you? Help me find her, man.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna look now.
If I had music right now, I would play music. I just don't have it.
You just
It's hard. It's hard to find people. I know. It's kind of tricky, isn't it?
You want me
to right. Well, when you have purple hair, it is.
I know. I got weird, crazy hair, but it's not weird, crazy because Queen Mary has the same look. So I feel cool now that I'm just like you, Mary. So here I am in the wilds of Chicago, and thanks so much, Sean, for letting me field some interest, hopefully, in this little project that I've got going. It's this radio station, WBEZ in Chicago. They're the local NPR station. They've asked me, they've asked Story Jam. So we have this show in Chicago called Story Jam. They've asked us to provide them with short stories, a little shorter than 99, unfortunately, probably closer to 77. We're calling it 77 right now. They've asked us to submit stories that they will air on WBEZ. Right now, they want Chicago-based stories, so set in Chicago or something having to do with Chicago. Somebody sent us very cleverly a story about the band Chicago, which totally counts. And so we are fielding stories. If you're interested in getting your story on the air, it has to just have anything to do with Chicago. It could be a Chicago team, could be a Chicago, I don't know, the play Chicago, the movie, whatever, something Chicago-ish. So if you are interested in that, please reach out to me in the chat or just send me an audio file of your story via my email, which is, I'm going to give you my Gmail email. It's hipchickrecords@gmail.com. And besides that, and then there will be other stories too, eventually. So I'm definitely going to be reaching out to a lot of you. And if you want to make a little story for yourself in the city of Chicago in October, we have a big 7th anniversary show. And a lot of the storytellers here tonight, including Mr. Sean Wellington himself, will be coming to Chicago to tell stories on our stage. And we will have an open mic the following night. The big show is October 1st, and the open mic for everybody is October 2nd. So please make your way to Chicago if you can, and hit us up if you're interested in finding out more. Thanks, Sean.
Steph, before you go, we have 2 questions. One, do they want it light? That's from Dan. And then also, is it Hip Chick Records, and how is chick spelled? Everybody wants
I'm sorry. Yeah, that wasn't too clear. Okay. Hip Chick Records is HIPCHICK. Hip Chick Records. That was back when I was an indie music chick back in the day. hipchickrecords@gmail.com. Or you can find us at storyjamshow.com. My email is linked on there as well. And what was the other question? Should they be light or not so light? BEZ tends to love supporting and promoting Chicago. So I think if it's disparaging about Chicago, it may not make it on the air, I'm guessing. I haven't really been given really strict guidelines, just something having to do with Chicago loosely or tightly.
Okay.
Does that answer the question?
I think it does. And that's what we have in the chat. So thank you for that.
Thanks so much, everybody. Thank you.
I do have one more question though. Is there when do you need these? Is there a time limit?
Oh yeah, so they are ongoing, but I am sending them a package next week. So my deadline technically is tomorrow night to send them the pack. I'll send them a package of the first batch of stories. It's going to be ongoing though. We're going to be doing this for several months.
Give them a deadline, Steph.
Here's your deadline.
Thank you.
Tomorrow night.
Yes.
You can do it. You're professional.
Do it.
I've seen every story tonight. Everyone here is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Such pros. So you can do it.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Okay.
Purple.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. She's out. Okay. I wasn't expecting the hat and the purple hair. I love it.
Love it. Love it.
All right. So we got our winners. We got the 2 tellers that the judges put through. I want to let everybody know. I'm going to remove that spotlight. Excuse me. That when we're done, we're going to have. So we have 6 tellers now, right? That are in the second
Sean,
round.
check the chat on Facebook.
Sure.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noted. Yeah, so we might have to wait another minute or so.
Okay.
But I want to let everyone know, tellers, after we're done, we'll have an opportunity for you to plug your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So shows you're in, shows you're producing, maybe you're teaching a class. If you want to stick around, some of the audience tends to stick around. That would be the good time to do. I got a couple of things I'm plugging too, Mary. But now, before we go on, Mary, because you're spotlighted, at least you are to me. What do you got going
on? From a storytelling standpoint, we just did one. Linda's here, but she has a show going on September 12th that I'm hoping to make it to in Newton, Massachusetts. If you can stop by and see us, I won't steal Linda's thunder if she wants to talk about it. But it's a great show. We've had great storytellers there, and then there's an open mic. So Sunday, September 12th, 7 p.m.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, we've got 6 tellers here. I just want to make sure you're on the same page. Thank you for sharing that. Joanne, of course, I'm going to also give you an opportunity to plug your stuff. Right? Why don't we do that right now, and then we're going to get to the tellers. Joanne, if you've got something, putting you on the spot here a little bit. do you have anything that you want to share with us, Ms. Pelletier, about your story world?
Hi, everyone. Boy, those are great stories. This was a very tough night. Great work. On August 29th, I'm doing something with a guy named Sean Wellington, actually. I think, yeah, it's a strange thing. It's a story night of true logs, so combined stories. So two people telling a story that's interwoven, and Rana Levy, who's an extraordinary teller who's here tonight, and I are doing a combined 99. Two people doing a 99. You got to come and see this. So August 29th, check out the Grit feed for more information. Thanks all.
I will put, thank you, Joanne. I know that the chat can get a little busy. I'll put the information on how you can learn more about that and other stuff that Grit and My Little Bubble does. We'll talk a little bit more of that just after we're done. But most people know it because if you found this event, you already know what's going on. You're aware of this stuff. All right, let me announce in no particular order the 6 people that are going through. They'll go back in the hat. And unlike round 1, I'm not letting you know them know in advance. We're going to pick one at a time. 6 stories, a vote, and then the winner wins. Should there be a tie, we'll have a runoff. Should there be a tie after that, then we will have co-winners. Okay, fair?
All right.
All right. No, and I'm not being, what's the word here? I'm always bad with words, Mary. Trite or whatever the word. There are some really good tellers and stories that are not going through.
Oh.
I don't want to sound like, what's the word? Yeah, like, oh, no, I mean it.
Like phony?
Yeah, like I'm not blowing smoke, like legitimately phenomenal stories.
I know.
Without further ado, going through are Walt, Silvana, Nadia, Angela, Andrew, and Tina. Congratulations to those 6. And for the 10 that did not go through, I love you. I appreciate you being here. Please stay. Please listen. Please vote. The names are going back in the hat. They're getting mixed up.
All
Get
right.
ready, tellers, because now is your second story, and now is your opportunity to be the 99-second Grand Slam Season 4 champion. Going first is Andrew Shelffo. He's like, I'm just screwing my glasses, dude. What are you doing? All right, Andrew, whenever you're ready.
I'm 17 years old and I'm having the most New Jersey night of my life. I'm in my friend's car. Well, actually, it's my friend's father's car. And there's a girl next to me in the front seat, and we're driving to the diner. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and Bruce Springsteen is on the radio. I pull into the parking lot. I pull into the spot, and I hit the gas instead of the brake, and I end up going over the curb and edging the car over a fence. I've just ruined my best friend's father's car. And oh, he lives next door to me. My date, she opens up the car door and she says, "Oh my God, we've got to get out of here." And she runs off screaming into the night. It's just me and the guys in the kitchen. We try to get the car out. We eventually can't. The cops show up. I don't know how they got here. Tow truck comes. They drag the car off the wall, and I manage to drive it home. But I'm not done yet. I can't sleep a wink. I keep peeking out the window, and I look at the car that's damaged in the driveway. And then it comes light time, and I go downstairs, and my parents are in the kitchen. And just as I'm about to tell them what I did, my brother comes in because he was out for a jog. And I say, "I just ruined the Nolte's car." And they said, "Well, what happened?" I said, "I hit the gas instead of the brake." And my brother starts laughing, and he says, "That's what old people do." And then my father puts his hand on my shoulder and he says something I'll never forget. He says, "At least it wasn't our car." Boom.
Thank you, Andrew. Round 2, teller 1, Mary. Andrew up in Massachusetts. He's got his own style of booming as well, if you notice. And I think it goes without saying that the hat was not a bad choice tonight.
I think it was an excellent choice.
Worked out okay.
It did. It did. It's good you changed it up. You
Change it
changed
up sometimes. You got it. Sometimes the only way to grow, right, is uncomfortable.
It's
Growth is uncomfortable.
I'm growing all the time, Sean.
Exactly. Growth is uncomfortable. Let us move on. Let us move on before
Let's move on. Who's next? Who's next?
Next up is Nadia. Let's find Nadia, spotlight her, and then stop talking. Where's Nadia?
No one wants to listen to us.
Nope. There she is. All right, Nadia, take your time.
Tout le monde évacue l'aéroport. Everybody evacuate the airport. Here I was in Paris, waiting impatiently to board the plane to Toulouse that would take me right into the loving arms of Jean-Jacques, a man I met online 4 months prior. But France has been dealing with a lot of terrorist attacks lately, and now there's this bomb threat, and the airport is evacuated. And when I finally arrived to Toulouse 2 days later, I'm pretty annoyed because now I have only 5 days to spend with this man who, for our first night together, makes reservations at this fancy restaurant. We sit down and he immediately orders a lot of food that he starts shoving in his mouth while he keeps talking. Little pools of spit and chewed up food form at the corner of his mouth. I barely touch my soup, but he eagerly finishes it by slurping it, and then wipes the bowl clean with the last slice of baguette. He grabs my hand and says to me, while spitting wet bread crumbs on my hand, "You are the love of my life, and I promise I'll never let you go." I smile and say nothing, but there's no way I can spend one more second with him. As on cue, his phone rings and there's an emergency at his work. He's a police officer, and he's sent on a mission starting immediately for the next few days due to a terrorist attack that happened that night. Boom.
Wow. Okay. Hard boom. That's an Eastern European boom right there. Is what that. But that's what you just heard there, Mary. That's an Eastern European boom. That's a little different than North Carolina boom.
Yeah, solid boom.
They learn early. They learn early there.
Yeah,
All right. So we had Andrew in Massachusetts, Nadia in Illinois, right? Look, not everyone's as obsessed with location as I am. So
I think it's fabulous.
Look, man, look, these are our season 4 Grand Slam second rounders.
Right.
We're like, whoop, stakes are going up.
It's
Stakes
amazing.
are going up.
Best of the best, yeah.
Indeed. Teller 3 of this final round is Walt in Florida, representing the entire Sunshine State. Walt, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. One day in 1995, I was at my newspaper desk when I got a call from security. "You got visitors. There's a tall white guy who looks like a lawyer and a short black kid, a teenager. The kid's got a big envelope full of old newspaper clippings." Oh shit, I thought. I don't usually get visitors unless there's a scheduled interview or someone's pissed off. But send them up, I said. The lawyer explained that he was Robert's guardian, and Robert beamed and stood up straight. "When I was 2 years old, you wrote a newspaper article about me. I was left outside a hospital. My legs were messed up. I needed an operation. People read that article and they helped." It had been 16 years. Doctors had agreed to operate. A community fund drive had started. People wanted to adopt him, and finally he found a home. Robert pulled out those clippings, and then he pulled out an 8x10 framed, hand-lettered award that he'd made himself to Walt Belcher for changing my life. He had been giving awards like this to doctors, nurses, people who raised money, anyone he could find. I was the last one on his list. I started to say, "I'm just doing my job, kid," but he was so proud. I told him, "It's the greatest honor I've ever received," and it still is. Boom.
Thank you, Walt. Thank you, Walt. All right, Mary. So 3 down, 3 to go here in round 2. And in about 10 minutes or so, give or take, we'll have a Grand Slam champion. We will be done in about 90 minutes as promised.
Oh, look how you deliver.
22 stories will have been told.
Wow.
Now, no one cares about this, but will have been told. That is the future perfect. If you want to know how that grammar, it's the future perfect tense. This is what you get when you're an ESL teacher. You learn these things that no one cares about. Let's go on. The future perfect. If you want to know what the future perfect progressive is, we'll talk about it after Silvana's story. Silvana, let's find you and spotlight you. There she is. All right, Silvana, take your time.
It was my first day of middle school. I'm in a gym at a pep assembly with 400 screaming kids. The cheerleaders bring out a pep toilet and they lift up the lid and we're supposed to scream and stomp our feet. Then a counselor tells us if we have problems at home or at school to come see her. And I'm just thinking, why are we screaming at a toilet? Well, I thrive at middle school. At home, not so much. And the day I was covered with glass because my mom kicked down my bedroom door and broke the mirror on the back, I decided I'd had enough. I got my stepdad's straight edge razor blade and I slit my wrist. It started bleeding bad, so I wrapped a knee sock around it and decided to go see the counselor. Mrs. Bowman listened, and I must have been pretty messed up because she insisted that I come back the next day, and she handed me a yellow hall pass. For the next 5 days, she gave me a daily pass to come see her. And she always told me that I was strong and resilient. And then she said, I have a special pass for you. It's one pass. You can use it as long as you want for 3 years. Anytime you want to get out of class, you use it. And that pass was my lifesaver. Mrs. Bowman believed in me. And when things got bad at home, I would think, I can talk to Mrs. Bowman. It was like my golden ticket that somebody believed in me. And years later, I took that yellow piece of paper at the end of middle school and I tossed it because Mrs. Bowman was right. I was strong and I was resilient. And even today, when I have a problem, I think about that yellow pass and I tell myself, I am strong and resilient and I can handle this. Boom.
Thank you, Silvana. All right. 4 down, 2 to go.
Yeah.
How about this? We are rolling to a Grand Slam championship. I don't actually have a lot of information on season 5 just yet, but there will be more slams. Why not? It's so
We have been
fun.
renewed.
We will do something. Look, I didn't think it was going to work out this way because a couple months ago, everything was supposed to go back. And we've learned not so much. So, and then we don't know the degree to which people will still continue to want to do online stuff because it has changed the game a little bit.
Yes. And we're so excited. You wanted 50 tonight and we had over 50.
Yeah, some people have left. I'm a little upset about them, but I don't know who they are, so I won't stalk them or anything.
But seriously, we have an amazing group here.
100%.
Just thank you for showing up and telling your stories. Really.
Glad that you came. Glad you spent the time with us. Second to last storyteller. Tina. Let us find her and spotlight Tina up in upstate New York.
Okay. Because I open the gate, I take care of John, even more so when my mother leaves us when I'm 12. So in high school, I didn't have a prom or dates or anything. I just took care of John until I go away to college. But then my father dies, so I move in with my mother to take care of John, and that lasts all of 6 months. And then I move from California to New York to get away from John. But I can't do it. So I take care of John long distance for the next 40 years until my mother dies and John's evicted from his nursing home. So I go to California, I gotta find a place to live and caretakers. And one day I'm meeting his doctor and he says to John, hey, John, who do you got with you today? And John says, well, it used to be my sister Tina, but now she's my mom. I'm her baby boy. He's 6'4" and 300 pounds. And he's always going to be my baby boy. But I get him straightened out and I go home. And one night I get this email from my older brother, Michael. It's just 7 words. Michael writes, you didn't open the gate. I did. Boom.
Thank you, Tina. Now, Mary, it should be said, Tina's in upstate New York. I'm from downstate New York. They are not the same place.
They're not.
Here in New York, don't think, but it is the same state. It's just a very different place. Long Island, New York City, upstate. Not better or worse, just saying it's not the same.
Yeah, well, that's like that in Massachusetts. We have Boston area and then we have the western part of the state. So I relate.
And you live in Hartford, right?
Right. Yeah, I live in Hartford. Yeah. South Carolina? No.
Am I the only person who laughs at my jokes? Is that it? All right, one more teller. She's been waiting, and it's weird. She's almost always the last teller. It makes no sense. I don't get it. It's random, I promise. Her name is Angela. She's going to close out this evening. Angela, break a grand slam and leg.
I'm 8 years old, sitting on my canopy bed, and I'm holding my most prized possession. It's a letter from Donny Osmond. Now, most people like Donny. I actually prefer Jay, and I read in Tiger Beat magazine that he likes girls who wear white go-go boots, and so I've asked for a pair for Christmas. I've told my friends about the letter, and they don't seem that impressed. I mean, I know I'm the biggest Osmond fan on the block, but this is big news, and I can't stop talking about it. A couple of days later, my mother is tired of hearing about Donny and Jay and go-go boots, and she sends me to my room to get the letter. She holds it up and she points at it. Somebody has taken a ballpoint pen and drawn wavy lines over the stamp. And the letter is on plain paper. Donny, he would have paper with his name printed on it. The letter is a fake. And it was written by my friend who lives 2 doors up. And my mom was in on it. I can't believe that the woman who is still peddling the story that Santa Claus is real is making me feel ridiculous for wanting to believe that my letter is real. I didn't get white go-go boots that year. I didn't get them any year. What I got was some serious trust issues. Thanks.
Thank you, Angela. And Queen Mary, that closes out 22 stories as part of the competition, 23 in total. Another fantastic, epic evening of stories. Any really length, could be 99 or not, but these just happen to be 99.
Yeah. A whole different level of skill. It's incredible. It really is.
Nobody went over, which means we've got 6 names in the final poll, and really would love for everybody who can vote, please.
Please.
Oh, now, if you didn't hear all the stories, man, if your friend's in it, I know you're going to vote for them anyway, but just to be fair. All right, only if you heard the stories. Mary, would you do one more blurbing like you do so well for us, and then we will call this an evening after we announce the champ?
You got it. So Andrew had the most New Jersey night of his life when he wrecked his best friend's father's car. Nadia waited all this time to meet the love of her life, Jean-Georges, to find out he was definitely not the love of her life, but she was saved by him being a police officer and him having to run off. Walt got an award from Robert for changing his life when he wrote a story when he was 2 years old. And he said it was the greatest honor he ever received. Silvana received the golden ticket that was a lifesaver for everything that was going on in her house from Mrs. Gorham. Tina found out that what actually happened with the gate as she took loving care of her baby boy, her brother John. And Angela didn't get white go-go boots, but she got some serious trust issues when she found out her letter from Donny Osmond was a fake.
All right, I'm doing my best. I think I've got everyone except, I just want to make sure, because this is the last poll of the evening.
Right, it's the last poll of the season.
At the season,
right?
6 names, 6 stories. I want to make sure, would you give me 3 words for Nadia's story? And then I think I did a good job.
I want to say Jean-Georges disgusting.
I can't pronounce, I don't know how to
you know, Paris, Paris love gone wrong.
All right. All right. I think this is fair. I think it's fair.
Yeah.
We're going to run this poll again. This is the last poll. Hopefully everyone votes. And don't forget, if you don't see the poll, I'm going to launch it in a moment. If you don't see the poll, just shoot me the name in the chat. Here we go. Last one. Thanks, y'all. Great job, for real. Andrew, Nadia, Walt, Silvana, Tina, and Angela.
Right.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm.
All right, we got 5 more people could vote. It could potentially change it, but it looks like someone's kind of inching into the lead. I don't know if this person is going to give that lead up. We've got at least 5 more people that could vote. Let's give it another 20 or so seconds.
Please make sure you vote.
Three more people could vote. It could not make a difference. Nope, actually it could. It is conceivable that if 3 people vote the same way, we would have a tie for first. Let's give it 10 more seconds because it is the final one. And we want to milk this. You know, milk things sometimes, right? You want to milk it?
Yeah, suspense is wonderful.
Not to be rude about it, but you want a little suspense. You got to balance that out. Right?
You know, what kind of show would we be running if we didn't do that?
All right, let's close this. What do you say?
I agree.
Let's end it.
Yes.
All right. The honors this evening, if she wants to take them, if she indeed saw, I don't know if she's still here. Is Joanne still here? I don't know.
Hi there, I'm here.
She is.
Joanne, did you see the results?
I did indeed.
Would you like to have the honor of season 4 Grand Slam to announce this season's Grand Slam champion?
I am so honored to do so. What a moment. Okay. And can I say, boy, I'm glad I wasn't voting. That was ridiculously hard to do. Well done, everybody. But I'm so pleased. Drum roll.
Drum roll.
Metaphorical. Here it goes. The winner of this season's Grand Slam. Well done, Tina McKenna.
Woo! There it is, Tina, who told a 2-part story, if you will. I love that. And we are going to, we're going to unmute Tina, and we want to catch you in the moment, Tina.
I know.
Just heard the news. We want to catch you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Tina.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll put you for my baby.
Oh, okay.
Well done, Tina. Really well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell them how honored you are.
I am honored. I actually asked my husband, did you vote for me? He
Tina's
said,
husband, can you hear me? You better have voted for her. It didn't either way work out.
All
Like,
those
he's
votes
gonna
couldn't have
say
been just
no.
from your husband.
I do think there's a way for us to go back into the back end and see who voted for who. So if Tina's husband did vote for her,
he did vote for me, I think.
of course he did.
Yes.
Look, I mean, I said pick your favorite story, man. Come on. Your spouses are going to vote for you. Of course they are. You're going to vote for yourselves. I get that. Of course. So, but everyone's going to do that, and then hopefully it balances out. Did a great job. To all our storytellers, wonderful job. All of our audience members, thank you. Stay tuned to events and classes that we've got going on. And I figured out email. Some of you might have got an email today. I figured that shit out. So I'll be letting you. I won't be weird about it, but I will let you know on email. You can always unsubscribe. And other places that we have stuff going on Facebook and elsewhere. Just you will be notified. So thank you as always. Let's call this an official evening. Special thanks to Joanne up in Montreal, and of course Queen Mary in Massachusetts. To our 16/17 storytellers and our audience members, you make this fantastic. So thank you. I am blessed. I am honored. I'm going to stop recording now and stop the live. And if you want to hang out,
Facebook.
hang out. Bye, Facebook.